Steve Love here with Prosperity Through Real Estate, and I guess I should also say with Las Vegas RIA, and even with SteveLove.com. We're here in a different setting today. We're trying something new today here at my house, and today I'm going to be talking about the due on sale clause. I get asked this a lot. People call me and say, well, what about the due on sale clause? Isn't there a due on sale clause? This usually comes up with subject to. When we're talking about taking over a loan subject to. We're buying a house subject to the existing loan. Okay, that means we just take over the existing loan. We don't qualify for a new one. We just start making payments. The seller will deed us the house and we start making payments on the existing loan. That's called buying the house subject to the loan. But there's something called a due on sale clause. What is the due on sale clause? The due on sale clause, which is in almost probably every loan today, every commercial loan today that you'll get from a bank, says that if the property is transferred, then we can call the loan. Okay? The loan is due upon the sale to another person. So in this case, if you took it over subject to, you bought it subject to, the property was transferred, the bank can call the loan. So that's what a due on sale clause is. But so will the bank call the loan? No. I shouldn't say no. I should say very rarely. I've done this many times myself, and I know some investors that have done hundreds of subject to deals, never had a loan called. But they can, okay? I have met, I got to admit, one or two, maybe three people that over the hundreds of investors that I know of and the thousands of deals that have been taken over subject to, I know of this happening a couple of times. So the bank can call the loan due, but they usually don't. Why? They don't want to foreclose. They don't want the property back. If you're making payments, they're much better with that. So they'd rather have the payments. Is it a risk if you, as an investor, take a loan subject to? I guess, yeah. There's always the risk that they could call the loan due, even though they don't. So why would a seller? This question comes up a lot. Why would a seller let you take over the loan subject to in the first place? Well, usually it's because they're very motivated and they just want off the loan. They want debt relief. They can't make the payments anymore, a divorce situation or some kind of situation where they have to sell and they don't want to make that payment anymore. So they'd rather let you make the payment. So what if the bank does call the loan? Let's cover that. They won't, but we're going to cover what if they do call the loan. So there's several strategies you can do. You could do nothing, okay? Just do nothing and risk that the bank might foreclose. Probably they still wouldn't. Okay, you could just ignore the notices in the mail. So that's one thing you can do, is do nothing. You could refinance the property in your name. Now that kind of breaks a lot of rules for some investors that don't like dealing with banks or won't deal with banks or can't qualify for a loan. Pretty tough to qualify for a loan these days, especially for investors who tend not to have W-2s, and even if they have great credit. Another thing you can do is just give the house back to the seller who you bought it from. Okay? And another thing you could do is have whoever you moved in there, it's probably a tenant buyer, you could have the tenant buyer refinance. So those are four things that you might consider doing. Another thing you can do is hide the fact that the property was sold from the bank by buying the property through a land trust or some other type of entity that the bank won't know that the property was actually sold. One thing is important: have your CYA, cover your assets, paperwork signed by the seller when you buy it. So he knows that this is a risk and he's selling it to you anyway, despite the fact that the loan is going to remain in his or her name. Like I said, I know many trainers and investors who have done hundreds of these things without ever the loan being called. So it's really nothing you'll need to worry about. As my friend Ron says, yeah, but it's going to happen to you on the very first one you do, right? So to sum up, it's not illegal to take over a loan subject to, okay? It's not immoral. It's not even fattening, okay? As another friend used to say, there's no such thing as a due on sale jail. So don't be concerned about, I would not be concerned about the due on sale clause. Thanks, and until next time, Steve Love saying bye for now.